Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the show formerly known as TBD. It is formerly known as TBD because we finally have a name for the show. Y'all ready for the show name? Drum roll. The official name of this show moving forward is Trippin with Theobold. Yeah. Trippin with Theobold. That's the name. Alright, so as y'all know or may not know, I'm your host, Andre Theobold, aka AT, because people be fucking my name up, aka Dre Theo, aka Dre. So welcome to the first edition of Trippin with Theobold. So let me expound upon how I came about this name. All right, so here's how I came up with the name, right? Well, actually, it was kind of like I got it from another internet show. Not the name, but you. Let me just tell the story so y'all can know where I got the name from, right? So there's another internet YouTube radio show I listen to, and these two comedians hosted, and I was on there and I was in their chat, like chatting some stuff in there, you know. And one of the comedians, read my comment and was like, "Theobold, you tripping." And I thought to myself, I was like, Theobold and tripping kind of go together. Theobold and tripping. And the more I thought about it, that name, the word tripping, it kind of fits me because I have like the reputation of being weird or being awkward. What else? I think about weird shit. I might say things that, don't conform with the norms of society, so I was playing around with it. I said, you know what? Tripping with Theobold doesn't sound too bad. It got a nice little ring to it, And it even covers, like, the segment of the show that I'm going to cover, which is the speech impediment part, right? Because as y'all know or may not know, I grew up with a severe speech impediment. Like, I don't know how I'm doing this shit right now. Like, my shit was fucked up, and over time, I was able to kind of like work through it. And I still have it, like I have hiccups every now and again and I'll slip up. And I'm getting all the bullshit out the way to let y'all know because I don't do edits on my shit. I just talk, record, post. I ain't got time for that edit shit. So whatever comes out is going to be out there, So if I have like a little hiccup or if I do something where like I stammer or I stutter or whatever, I got to think of something like clever, but I'm just going to either look at the camera and shrug, or I'm going to say something like, "Come on, Dre." Or I'm going to say, "Boom, I did it there." I got to think of something, but that's like one of the crowning achievements of this show, right? Is I own my shit. And when I do it, it's going to be funny when I own it. Or not. It'll just be weird, So, Trippin' with Theobold is the name of the show. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, before I get started, let me get a little swig of this apple juice. Apple juice is pretty tart. But anyway, here we go. So one thing that I realize in life is, when you grow up with a speech impediment, it's like the one thing I had to like get over is people laughing in my face. You know, like there's nothing worse than getting caught up in your words and you're like, "Oop, oop, 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 oop." See, I can't even make fun of myself doing it because it's like so original. Like I don't like using the word can't, but it's very hard for me to mimic what I do when I fuck up. But when I do it, you just know, you know. But anyways, one thing I had to get used to is people laughing in my face, and the one thing I thought about was when I do slip up or when I do mess up, the shit is funny. I can't you can't deny that it's just not like it might not be funny to everybody, but the shit can be funny. That's a better way of putting it, I think, And it's like I used to really get in my feelings about that shit, because I thought people were being mean, but really it's like it was a natural reaction. Like I learned in acting class that, I think it was acting class, there's one thing I learned was if you experience an emotion, the emotion that you experience only lasts for like a few seconds. But if you still experience that emotion after that, that's your conscious choosing to engage in that reaction, right? So basically there's this like nuance of, hey, when something happens, initially it's a reaction, but then after that, it's a choice. So I had lots of people, man, like growing up that would I would mess up talking in front of their face, and you could tell they were trying not to laugh, but they would laugh, and I would get in my feelings. But then there were some people that were like assholes, man. Like it was funny, but then they wouldn't let it go. Like they would go on for like days, weeks, or every time they saw me, it was, they would always like do something to like drag it out, and that shit to me, those are the people I couldn't stand, But so why am I talking about all this and why am I bringing this up? So I'm bringing this up because like I'm trying to draw like an analogy to this shit. So I guess like when it comes to fuck it. Y'all remember that Burl Ives, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer stop motion animation shit or whatever? So there are like a lot of similarities that I have in life with that movie, and the one thing that I could relate to in the Burl Ives, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer joint was I could relate to Rudolph's parents, putting coal on his nose to hide his red nose, right? Because it was different from everyone else's shit, And it was like he wore this thing over his nose when he went outside to go play. And then one day when the shit fell off and his nose started glowing red, everyone like freaked the fuck out. They were like, oh, like you saw it in their face. Like it was like kind of like half panic, half amusement, and they were like laughing and shit, and I remember people looking at me like that whenever my shit would fuck up, so I don't know why I even brought that up. That's just something weird I just thought about, and I could also relate to like Rudolph's parents like scolding him for wanting to like be his natural self, I mean, naturally, like, you don't want someone to go out not being able to speak clearly, but it's like the same tone or the same attitude was what I kind of like experienced at home, It was like, it was this real like, yo, you gotta get your speech together, nigga. Shit, you gotta get your shit together. Come on, Dre. You know, like that was like the tone. And, you know, it's all love. It was tough love. It's like, Dre, you got to get your shit together. Dre, you gotta speak clearly. You gotta project yourself. My pop would always say, you gotta project yourself. He would say project without the T. He'd be like, Andre, you got to project yourself. Project. He left the T off that shit. That shit was funny. But like whenever I came home and I couldn't get my words out, you know, or if I was like too excited or whatever, if I couldn't get my words out after like, you know, a couple seconds, you know, my folks would be like, nigga, go talk into the tape. You gotta get your shit together. Come on, Dre. All right, so like I can kind of relate to that aspect of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, you know. But anyways, enough of the kiddie cartoon shit. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it. What else am I gonna talk about? So, yeah, man. So this past weekend, I went to my cousin's house to watch the Super Bowl, and I felt like it's weird, but I felt like my speech was like out of phase. Like I was speaking clearly. I wasn't like, you know, stuttering and shit. But I felt like, how did I feel? It was weird. It was like, I felt like I was bound to fuck up, but I never did, you know? It's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like walking on ice, you know? Or when you walk on black ice, if you guys know what that's not no racist shit. It's black ice. Like, if you're not from the Midwest or a cold area in the United States, when it gets cold outside and there's some precipitation on the ground, especially on like concrete or on like a blacktop surface or like the sidewalk, there will be like little patches of ice that are like real slick and real faint that you can't even see it, you know? So when you walk, it's like you kind of like catch yourself, you know? And that's kind of like what like stuttering is like, or having a speech impediment is like, you know, it's like you know how to walk, but you don't trust the ground that's underneath you. You know, it's like you're always kind of like slipping, you know? And when you slip, it's kind of like every time you slip, well, it depends. Like when you're younger and you slip and fall and bust your ass, or when you like fuck up when you talk, it's like, it's weird. It's like every time you do it and you become cognizant of it, it's like you build in a defense mechanism 10 times more stricter or 10 times more strict so that you don't slip. So it's like now you're like being overly cautious to the point to where you're afraid to even move, you know? So that's kind of how I felt this weekend. You know, I was fighting through it. Like no one knew I was fighting through it because everything was coming out clear, but like internally my shit was like, I'm about to really fuck up on this word, or I'm like, wow. And I'm not sure if it was because like of how the TV volume was, or if I don't know what it was, but that's what happens, you know. Some days, you know, like I know when I'm gonna fuck up when I talk. You know, like I can just feel it. You know, it's like a call it anxiety, call it whatever you want to call it, but I know like before the shit gonna happen. You know, like I had one dude ask me back in the day, he was like, yo, like, do you study your thoughts? And at first I thought it was a stupid question, but I'm like, he don't stutter, so he don't know. But the answer is no. Like, I think clearly, you know, like I said before, it's like walking on black ice. It's like, you know how to walk, you know how to put your feet down and walk, but it's like, once you hit that piece of black ice, now it's like, and once you hit that piece of black ice and you like stumble a little bit or you slip, now you're like overly cautious to the point to where you're afraid to walk. So now when you're afraid to walk, it's like you're afraid to, it's like you're hesitant when you talk, like you hesitate, you know? So a lot of times what I'll do is like I'll pause, or like I'll hesitate abruptly, and I'll try to catch myself, and like I'll double clutch, or like I'll try to like say, you know, the previous word or part of the sentence over or whatever to try to like leap into the next part, you know. So it's a pretty interesting phenomenon, you know. And And the weird thing is, man, I wouldn't trade it for, I wouldn't trade it away for the world, man. You know, this is a part of me. Like I had to adapt to this shit. You know, like one thing I will say that it did is it made me like not just humble, but it made me, how should I put it? It made me like empathize with people that have like difficulties or disabilities doing things, you know, because something that I do that someone else might struggle doing, like it's hard to like put yourself into someone else's shoes to see what they're really going through, you know, like something that might be simple as like brushing your teeth or walking. Someone else might not have the motor skills to do that, or they struggle with the motor ability to do it, you know, but it's like, I at least kind of, I'm not saying that like, you know, having a speech impediment is like anything else, but I can empathize with the part of, you know, struggling through something, right? Like a lot of times, like you don't want people to, like it would be dope if people could understand, but at the same token, like it's really appreciative when people just give you time to help you work through your shit. You know what I'm saying? Or they give you time for you to work through your shit. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, this ain't no Debbie Downer shit, man. I'm just spitting facts right now. You know, like, you know, so yeah, so this past weekend I was like a little out of phase. Like internally, I felt like I was about to fuck up, and I really didn't, but it is what it is, you know. But let's move on, man. Let's talk about some DFS, some daily fantasy sports. So my woe of the week. So this is a new segment, right? Like my woe of the week, right? So like a woe is like, you know, like pity me, or like damn I messed up, or expressing great sorrow. So my woe of the week was Jaden Mickens, right? So Jaden Mickens plays for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he's a receiver. He was the 5th receiver on the depth chart of the Buccaneers, or is the 5th receiver on the depth chart of the Buccaneers. And it was a Super Bowl, so it was down to 2 teams. And when you do, see, I kind of fucked up right there. But so when you get down to like 2 teams, right, you can't do like you can't pick like a normal lineup, you know, like you can't pick a quarterback, 2 running backs, you know, what is it, 3 receivers, a tight end, a flex, and a defense. You can't do that. So what they do is they have this thing called Captain Showdown mode. And in Captain Showdown mode in DraftKings, you have to pick like 6 players, but one of the slots, or one of the 6 slots of your lineup is a captain spot, right? And in the captain spot, you have to pay double the value to get 1.5 times the points. So that shit like really makes it like real tricky, you know? And what my analysis has shown me throughout this year, is when you do DFS Captain Showdown mode, if you put a quarterback in that captain spot, you're probably going to lose, because they kind of overprice the quarterbacks a little bit. I'm not saying all the time, but I keep track of that shit. So when I looked at my little spreadsheet of all the perfect lineups of the Captain Showdown modes, the captain was either a receiver or a running back for the most part, you know? And it's someone that either gets a lot of carries or like a lot of targets. So in doing that, what also I found out was you have to, like, you got to pick a bum. And when I say a bum, I don't mean a bum. Like, I'm not, so it may sound messed up for me to call someone a bum, but I'm not calling them a bum based on their ability. I'm calling them a bum based on the output of their production. You know, so a bum is someone that puts up like single digits in fantasy. Like that to me is a bum. Like single digit scores ain't gonna cut it. you know? So you gotta pick someone that is like right around like $200, like towards the bottom of the pricing chart. You know, so Jaden Mickens was $200. And the reason I went with Jaden Mickens was because he was like the one player that was super duper cheap that played snaps in all of the playoff games. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, if he's getting snaps and no targets, Kansas City might, they might mess up and overplay or overplay like, Mike Evans or whoever else and then leave Mickens wide open. And also, in addition to that, Jaden Mickens is the kick returner. So there's opportunity for him to run a touchdown back and get a score, So for $200, if he could have got me a touchdown, right? Because if he catches a touchdown, right? Think about it. If he's a receiver and if he catches a touchdown, he gets 6 points. Plus, he gets the point for catching the touchdown, which is 7. And then yardage can be anything, And he could have even like ran a touchdown back and just got a solid 6 points, And I know I said earlier, bums get single digit points, but if Jaden Mickens could have like got like 11 or 12 points in that game, I would have been a very, very happy person. I'd have been real happy. So Jaden Mickens was my woe of the week because I was hoping that he could put up points, and he put up 0 in the Super Bowl. So it is what it is. What else? So let's talk about some DFS hoops. So DFS. So the question I'm posing, so I'm thinking while I'm talking, and I kind of messed up there. So boom, you got it right. But the question I want to pose today is for DFS is, why is NBA DFS so hard, man? Like, a lot of people talk, oh man, I know the NBA, I know my shit, and then, nah, you don't. I mean, DraftKings is totally different, right? Like, yeah, who puts up numbers, but you have to like be efficient. You have to know who's gonna put up the most points for the least amount of money spent, right? It's all about that points per dollar spent. PPD. So, and I tried all kinds of methods, man. Like I should probably write a book on all the methods that I've tried, because I'm very systematic when it comes to picking my lineups, right? Like I'm very I have an engineer mindset, so that's like kind of like what I do, Like I look at numbers, I look at data trends, I look at a whole lot of shit, So, for example, I'm not gonna give all my methods out, but one method I use is it's called the thumb method, right? So basically, what you do is you look at a player's lineup, or you look at a player's card in DraftKings, and then you look at their statistics, and what you do is you find when they last put up the number that you would like to have coming up, and you put your thumb over top of that number, right? And then if that number pops on top of your thumb again, that means that that number is probably going to come up, right? I call that the thumb method. Then so like I said, it's stupid, but I mean, sometimes that shit work, because shit is periodic, right? Like there's periodicity when it comes to players putting up their fantasy points. Then I do the whole 1, 2, 3 trend, like it's very hard for any player in any sport to go up consecutively in 3 games for a fantasy point. So I look at players that, either just went up once. If they went up once, hey, they could do it a third time, or, there's some players that, have increased, and it's very rare, but when a player increases like over 5 games consecutively, you know they're bound to have a bad game because they're putting out too much energy. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's energy that is required to put up fantasy points. So people just can't stay like in the 70s all year long. It's not gonna happen. All right. I tried looking at opponent rank, you know? Like I looked at what players did or the max points they put up versus, you know, the player rank. And it's all over the place, you know? Like I said, I got so many like methods. I'm probably gonna write a book on the shit, you know what I'm saying? And see if I can't hustle some money off a book to put into a DraftKings account so I can try to, you know, get this millie. Got to get this millie. So what else we got, man? Under DFS. So another part of the show underneath the DFS segment, we got the Theobold prediction. That's me, right? We got the Theobold prediction. So tomorrow is Thursday. Well, tomorrow's technically Friday, but it's Thursday today. But it's like 2 a.m. right now. So for Thursday's game, my Theobold prediction is Blake Griffin is going to score in the upper 30s or lower 40s fantasy points, not real points, against the Pacers. Why must you ask, right? So the reason I say that is because the reason I think Blake's going to put up like 30s or 40s against the Pacers is first, his opponent rank is pretty low. I think the Pacers are like 30th against power forwards and centers, which to me doesn't make a whole lot of sense because the Pacers got, what's the name on there? They got what's that dude's name? Miles Turner? I think it's Miles Turner. But he a beast, right? So I'm not sure, and I never really watched his game. I'm not sure if he's an offensive beast or he's a defensive and offensive beast. But when you look at Blake's numbers, fantasy point wise, I think he put up 12 points 2 games ago, and then he put up 14 points recently. He's going on that upper trend. I think he's going to pop. You know, that's one thing I looked at too, you know, is when players are between, you know, when players show between 0.1 and 2 point increase between 2 consecutive games, they usually pop right after that, you know? It's that kind of like that what's it called? That direct or Dirac impulse function. Okay, I'm getting too nerdy, man. Fuck that shit. He gonna put 30s or 40s up. That's what I predict. So now let's move into the third segment of the show. This is real choppy. I know it's real choppy, but you know we gonna kind of smooth it out over time. But Pilgrim's Progress, right? Inchstones. We got a name, right? We did 5 shows as TBD podcast, but now we have a name. Or yeah, whatever. You get the point. I'm thinking too much. But now the third segment of the show is the SIMPology segment of the show, right? Like I like to consider myself as a simpologist. You know, I study everything that has to do with simping. So why do I do this, right? So growing up, I didn't know any better. I didn't have someone pull me to the side and be like, hey, nigga, stop all that damn simping. I ain't had that. So I had to like find out things the hard way. So I think I know a thing or 3 about simping. I know a thing or 3 about simping. So I'm going to share, and people in the comments can laugh and make comments or, you know, do whatever. I don't give a shit. You know, do what you want. I welcome all trolls. gotta be careful when I say that, because whatever. I'm not gonna get in my feelings. Fuck, shit, man. Fuck a troll. But anyways, here we go. So let me start off with a simptuation, right? Which is a story about how I've simped in the past, right? So Valentine's Day is upon us. And back when I was in college, I used to, I was very formal, like I went by the definition of Valentine's Day, right? Like if you look up how you're supposed to celebrate Valentine's Day, you'll see that it's not typically or not really a day for lovers. It's really a day for people that you like or have a crush on. It's your day to like be a secret admirer and then reveal. Can't even talk. That wasn't a slip up. That was just me mispronouncing something. But it's your day to reveal to your secret admirer who you are and that you have affection for them. So that's how I typically celebrate it. And I thought it was kind of like fun. Like it made the shit fun. Like I'm all about having, I guess, fun, and being original. So anywho, back in college, I used to have this reputation of making chicks little trinkets and shit, Like I was on my Anakin Skywalker from Star Wars shit, young Anakin. Like, I was that little motherfucking making Japor snippets to give the bitches and shit. Like that's the kind of dude I was, right? Like I didn't believe in spending a whole lot of money. I just believed in like, using my creativity, Like I thought that my creativity was like my superpower, right? And I was trying to woo women with my superpower, right, of creativity. So anywho, so this Valentine's Day, this is since Valentine's Day is upon us, I figure I'd go ahead and share a little Valentine's Day situation, right? And I have a lot of Valentine's Day stories. I thought about doing one every day of the week, but I'm like, man, these stories are so much a part of me that I'll probably just do it like annually, like do a new story every year around Valentine's Day. So let me stop bullshitting. Okay, here's a story, right? So what happened is this, right? There was this chick on our campus that was bad. I mean, bad is an understatement. You know what I'm saying? Bad for this chick is understatement, man. This chick was on a scale of 1 to 10, she was an 11. Like she was bad, and I'm not really a fan of like rating chicks, because I feel like, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. But I think that if you rounded up people that went to my school around that time period, I think that if you ask the average dude, give me your top 3 chicks on campus, this one chick would be in the top 3. Like she was bad, and she was also pretty cool too, man. Like she was like, she was approachable, she was nice. I remember I always thought that she was like older than me, like I thought she was older than me because of like, how she dressed. Like she would sometimes like wear like very elaborate and lavish like clothing, like a model, like she would kind of have like a Cruella Divine kind of look, like from 101 Dalmatians. Like she would wear like that fur shit and like, the pants with the high boots. Like she didn't like, she didn't look old. I just thought she was older, right? But she was short too, man. She was like, maybe like 5'2", bad chick, man. But I remember like, there were a few times, maybe like a handful of times on campus, like she would just come up to me and start talking to me. She'd be like, hey, what's going on? And we just chit chat for like 5 seconds. It's real cool. So maybe she was running game on me. Maybe she was using me as a pawn to get to the nigga she really wanted to get to. But she was cool. You know what I'm saying? And then I remember one time at lunch, her and her roommate, like I used to eat lunch by myself because I was like weird and shit, right? Hence, the name of the show, Trippin with Theobold, right? I was kind of like a little weirdo or whatever, right? But I used to eat lunch by myself in the cafeteria. I was like a loner, you know what I'm saying? And one day those two came and sat next to me, and they just stared at me for like 2 or 3 minutes, like not laughing, but they were like, like flirting. And then I remember one time I went to her room, and she was like cool, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I sat, like, she invited me in, I sat on her bed and we chatted for like maybe like 10, 15 minutes. I know I should have probably tried to smash, but I was a geek back then. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, But man, she was bad, man. Enough of me hyping this chick up. Let me just go ahead and get to the story, right? So here's what happened, right, on Valentine's Day. So it was Thursday night, and it's me and my roommate, and we're doing our homework, right? Like, he's doing his homework for his courses, I'm doing my homework for my courses or whatever, And Valentine's Day was that Friday, and I'm like, man, I gotta make a move, yo. Like, I gotta try to get this chick, man. So I was kind of brainstorming, thinking to myself, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna make this chick a card. I'm gonna make her remember me on this day, So I told my roommate what I was gonna do. He was like, yeah, man, go for it, man. Do it, man. He was like hyping me up. So here's what I did, right? Like I said, I don't spend money, or I didn't spend money on Valentine's Day like that for chicks, Like I said, I was like real creative. I would like put effort into things and just make things for like low prices or whatever, But anyways, I made this chick a card, because I used to make cards back in the day. I was a card maker, And I even like, double folded so whenever I made my cards, like I double folded my cards because I wanted that stability so you could stand it up, Okay, y'all don't give a fuck or whatever. But basically, yeah, I was like, I used to like be into making cards back in the day. I was the card making nigga of the family, So anyways, I made this card. It was a real simple card. And on the front of the card, it just said, so-and-so, which is the name of the chick. It said so-and-so, females at XYZ University are, or maybe dimes, right? But instead of writing out the word dimes, I took a dime and like I glued it onto the front of the card, and I wrote an S next to it, right? Because dimes is plural, And no, I didn't put apostrophe S because that would have violated MLA handbook regulations, right? You don't put apostrophe S for plural, right? That's possessive. Whatever, okay? Y'all don't need to know that. But anyways, it said on the front of the card, it said, so-and-so, females at XYZ University, maybe dimes, ... Then on the inside, it said, however, you are and I taped a dollar bill on the inside of the joint, right? Happy Valentine's Day, sign the joint, put like a little date on the bottom of it, right? And I think I got like a little rose for her and shit. So my dumb ass wanted to wish her happy Valentine's Day right at Valentine's Day. So y'all not hearing me. Like, I wanted to be the first one to wish her happy Valentine's Day. So what I did was I went to her room at 11:59 p.m. that night. 11:59 p.m. that night. So I'm not even thinking like this is some creepy shit or this is some weirdo shit. I'm just like, I gotta be the first one to wish her happy Valentine's Day. So I go up to her room, I knock on her door, and then her roommate answered the door, and her roommate looks at me as if she saw a ghost. Nigga, like she opened the door, she was like, Andre, what are you doing here? I was like, hey, yeah, is so-and-so there. And then she was trying to like stall. She was like, and then right, like, as she was talking, the chick I was there to give the Valentine's Day stuff to she was like, "Hey, Andre, come on in." And when you walked in our dorms, right, there was like we had like a countertop kind of like island kind of set up in the little living room area or whatever. So when I walked in, I saw so and so. I saw the chick I was trying to, you know, impress or express my happy Valentine's Day to, and it never dawned on me like, hey, why is she sitting that high up on the couch? It never dawned on me like I could see her like I could see like her I could see like her upper torso from where I was like standing, and the couch is like from that depth perception, the couch is like below the island, right? So when you walk in, if you saw someone on the couch, you wouldn't really be able to see him like that, So it never dawned on me, hey, why is she so high up on the couch? So when I came in, I was like, hey, so and so, how's it going? Hey man, it's 11:59, and I just wanted to be the first person to wish you. And as I said it, I walked around the island, and right when I said it, man, I just froze in my tracks because she was sitting on top of this big nigga. This nigga was a giant, man. This motherfucker was like look, this motherfucker was so big. This motherfucker had his elbows like on the floor and his feet were on the floor when he was on the couch. So he was laying across the couch and his elbows were touching the ground and his feet were touching the ground at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even see why she even had a couch. She should have just had that nigga be the couch. But he was like, I think he must have like been an NBA nigga or like a football NFL nigga or something, man. But this dude was like just tall, like big, like and he had a big face, man. Like, you remember what's that little TV or that movie? Never Ending Story. Remember Falcor, that flying dog? This motherfucker had a Falcor face. Like, he just had a big ass face, man. And right when I saw him, I was like, oh shit. So I tried to play it cool, and what I did was I walked around and then I just like I sat in the chair that was next to the couch, and I started watching TV with them. Like, so you got to see this shit. I walked in and I was like, hey, so and so, yeah, it's 11:59 p.m. and I just wanted to be the first one to. Oh shit! I sat down and started watching the game. Like, man. So I'm just watching the game. So I was there for like I was like, I'm watching their TV for like 5 minutes like this. So after 5 minutes, the chick was like, yeah, Andre, so why are you here? And I was like, damn. Like, man, what do I do, man? Had my little backpack. I was like, shit, what do I do? I'm like, damn. I'm like, if I leave, it's gonna be awkward that I just came in and then left, after 5 minutes. So I'm like, fuck it, I gotta go ahead. I gotta go for broke. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go for the gusto. So I was like, hey, I just wanted to be the first one to wish you happy Valentine's Day, and I pulled out my little card, gave her the card, I gave her the rose and shit. And then as I pulled the stuff out and gave it to her, the dude took a breath, and when he took a breath, all the oxygen in the room just left. Like, I was like, oh shit, because he had like that frustration. Like he was like, he went like that, and when he went like that, like all the oxygen kind of left the room for a second, and I gave it to her, and then right when I gave it to her, I turned around, walked towards the door, and I said, okay, y'all have a good night, and I left. And as soon as I left out the door, man, I sprinted back to my room, man. I ain't never ran that fast in my life, I don't think, man, because I should have got my little ass beat doing some shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I should have got stomped out. I'm going up to a chick room, Valentine's Day Eve, 11:59 p.m., bringing roses and cards and shit, and she's sitting on top of a big nigga. So, yeah, that's my Valentine's Day situation story, man. And I wonder, man, if she still has that card, because she probably, I wonder if she has that card, man, because that's like mega boost, man. Like, think about it, right? Like, she already knows she attractive. You know what I'm saying? And she so like she might still have that card. I don't know, but basically it was like I was willing to risk it all to give her this little fucked up ass little childish card on Valentine's Day. That's like the biggest like, yeah, wow. I did that shit. Yeah, I wonder if they even smashed. Well, nigga, they smashed that night. Nigga, shit, he had to, as as one comedian says, um, some dudes pay with dick, other dudes got to do a whole lot of other shit like to keep a chick, right? So he probably paid her in dick that night. You know what I'm saying? That's why he was over there. Shit, whatever. Or you never know. Maybe they just platonic friends. It's not good to assume, right? But yeah, man, that was crazy. But now, the one thing I thought about while telling this story is like, what if like there was no dude up there and it was just her that night? Man, I'd be thinking like, man, like what if like what if there was like no, like what if she was up there by herself and she was like kind of like mad or upset that no one really thought about her for Valentine's Day, and I came up there to save the day. I probably could have smashed that night. She probably would have just gave me some just because. Man, you never know, man. But in retrospect, I'm glad that it's gonna sound weird, but I'm glad I didn't get the buns, man, from her. Not because I didn't want to. I'm just like saying, like, at the time, at that period of my life, I wasn't fucking like that. Like I wasn't smashing. I was smashing books to get these grades. Like I wasn't bunning chicks up like that. Yeah, no, I wasn't clapping chicks up like that, man. I was clapping up these books. Trying to graduate, and if for whatever reason, if I did get lucky and did get some buns that night from her, I don't think I would have graduated, man, because that chick was bad, man. And if I would have got that one time, I don't know, man, like that, that shit might have like, I don't want to say ruined me, but that shit may have like, think about it, man. Like when you got something like that bad, and if I actually like got a chance to hit, I'd be like, yo, what's next? Like how can I'd be like, how can I get that again? And when you're not like, smashing like that, and you smash something like that tough, and it might, if it's a one and done type of situation, man, I might have gone crazy. Like I might have been trying to like, because think about it, man, that's some powerful shit. Like that shit is like the equivalent of blue magic. Like I never did drugs before, but I'm just trying to like draw an analogy, you know what I'm saying? But it's like the purest form, And if you get that, it's like, nigga, how can you like wean off of that, Or who knows? Maybe if I got that, maybe I would have been like extra confident, and maybe I would have been able to get like 10 chicks or whatever. I don't know. I'm just shooting the shit. But nah, I definitely think about that night a lot, man, because that was crazy, So, with that being said, I have a question to pose for the last few minutes of this show. And the question I have to pose is the following, right? Or the question is the following. Are dudes that participate, or are dudes who, I'm trying to get my fuck grammar. Are dudes that participate in Valentine's Day simps? Ooh. Ooh, what have you done, Dre? What have you done? Are dudes that participate in Valentine's Day, are they simps? So before we expound upon this question, because like I said, um, these are not like hard fact, yes or no questions. Matter of fact, I want y'all to chime in the comment section down below. Are dudes that participate in Valentine's Day simps? I want to hear what you guys have to say. I'm curious. But before I give you my opinion, it's always good to start an explanation off with some definition, so we have some context and to what we're talking about. So the question is, are dudes that participate in Valentine's Day simps, right? So we have to first define what a simp is, or make sure we understand what a simp is. So if you go back to my old videos, I put in the definition, and people read this definition. This shows me how people read in America. They just gloss over this shit. And they don't really think about like the structure of the words and how things are placed, But my definition of a simp is a dude. My definition of a simp is a dude who does things with the intent on either gaining or keeping the interest of a chick. And people read that and they're like, nah, they ain't no, like they just read, they miss that key word, intent. All right. It's like you're doing something with the intent on either gaining or keeping the interest of a chick. Right. And then, I was watching another YouTube channel. I think it was, Zoe Williams. Yeah. Zoe Williams, man. Shout out to Zoe, man. I think it was on his Mansion show, but I think Zoe, or one of the platforms he was on, Zoe took my definition and summed it up like this, and it's perfect. He said, simping is performing for pussy. Right? So I thought to myself, man, he took it and just shortened it. So if we take that definition of performing for pussy and apply it to the question, are dudes that simp, or are dudes that participate, I can't even get my grammar straight. Are dudes who participate in Valentine's Day, are they simps? Right? So if we take the performing for pussy part of it, I think we'll have our answer. So my answer is, drum roll, it depends. It depends, right? So, fellas, if you're dating a chick or if you're involved with a chick, and if you're like, yo, if I don't do something for this chick on Valentine's Day that I'm with, if I don't like buy her something, if I don't do her this, she gonna leave me. And you do it because you're afraid the chick gonna leave you, nigga, you simping. That's simping. If you're doing this shit because you're afraid the chick gonna leave you, you simping. Right? Because the act of you going out and buying like all this shit and buying this chocolate and buying all this stuff is a performance, right? You're performing for her to try to keep whatever she's given to you or to prevent her from leaving you. So if you participate because you just like doing it and you like kind of getting a rise out of your chick, or you just like doing it, right? That's different. But if you're doing it because like you're afraid that, I mean, think about it, right? Just like society, I did it there. So look at it, right? Society has created a day that can fuck up a relationship. My question to like people and couples out there, man, is why do you need a day to celebrate like y'all love or how y'all feel about each other? How come y'all can't do that shit 365 days a year? You know? How come you can't, have your own day where you just say, you know what? I was thinking about my chick. I wanted to see a smile on her face. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to brighten her day. Boom, I got these things for her. You know, I don't care if this chick, I don't care if this chick leave me. I don't care if she got a dick down by. I'm doing this because I want to do it. You know what I'm saying? And it just takes out to me, Valentine's Day, it takes the creativity out of like the relationship part, because why does everybody want to celebrate their love on the same fucking day? Like, why can't Valentine's Day be the day that y'all met? Right? Like, I'm not trying to sound cheap, you know what I'm saying? But how is it that chicks, like, a lot of chicks want like 4 Christmases in a year, right? Like, they want an anniversary gift, they want Valentine's Day gift, they want birthday gift, they want Christmas gift. And if you mess up and fuck up one of them gifts and you afraid that the chick gonna leave you, then fuck it. Then you shouldn't be with her. So my message to y'all fellas out there is the following, man. If I gotta be careful what I'm saying, right? But if you feel like your chick is gonna break up with you because you don't get her something for Valentine's Day, just go and break up with her, man. Just break up with her, man, because that shit is just, all you're doing is you just giving money away to society, because that shit ain't gonna work, because your relationship ain't built on nothing. If one day out the year can ruin weeks or months or years or whatever y'all have built up, if that can ruin like your whole relationship, then y'all ain't got no relationship. You got a simtuationship. Boom. How you like that word? I'm not trying to cause trouble. I'm just trying to bring clarity to shit. But like I said, I'm not saying don't go out and get your chick nothing. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying look at the intent or the reason behind why you're buying her the shit. Right? If you buying her the shit because, you know, you afraid that she gonna leave you or she gonna get mad at you, then maybe you have to examine your relationship a little bit further. Me, I ain't got that problem. I'm chilling. I'm enjoying myself. I got clarity. I got peace of mind. Peace of mind is a delightful thing. So anywho, that's it for the first edition, formally, or that's it for the first edition of I can't even say that. This is the first edition of Trippin with Theobold, the show formerly known as TBD. I've been your host, Andre Theobold, aka AT, aka Dre Theo, aka Dre. It's been fun rocking with y'all. So yeah, make sure you like this video if you liked it. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe, go tell a friend. And on top of that, please put anything you want to put in the comment section. Good comments, negative comments, troll. Put whatever you want to put in the comment section. You know? I want to see what y'all think. Like, I really want to see what y'all think. But if you have a serious question or something serious about like what I said, maybe I'll bring it up on the topic for the next show. You know? I don't know what else to tell you. But man, it's been fun, man. It's been fun rocking with y'all for the past hour. That's my time, and I'm out. Peace.